Hello and welcome to the Dutching channel. Now today I'm going to show you how to pick winners in Australia. Now I use a website called RaceNet, so racenet.com.au, and what I'll do with my Excel spreadsheet, we're going to complete a whole race from best rating to worst rating. It's going to take a little bit of time, but I just want to show you how it's done. So the first thing we'll do is go into fields and form. Now remember, at this time of the day, Australia is most probably another 12 hours in front of us. So the form you're going to see come up like now is still going to be Saturday's racing, but it's already completed. And you think sometimes, oh, we've got 5 or 6 meetings, we've got a lot. Well, look at that lot. And that's the international that comes into ours today. But just look at all that racing that you get in Australia. So if you wanted to just back in Australia and you've done this full time, then you'd have to sleep in the day and be awake all night. But we've missed all of Saturday's racing, so we're going into tomorrow's racing, which will be the 16th of March 2024. And again, that's just the amount of meetings in Australia on a Sunday. And sometimes what they would do is add the New Zealand racing in as well, because you would only perhaps find one of those. So let's start with Swan Hill. Now Swan Hill got a card there tomorrow night. I have sort of looked through because I don't want to be doing 20 horse races if I'm trying to just show you something. So we're going to go, well, we would have gone again. Right, so I want to go to race 4. I haven't looked at any form on the horses or anything like that, but I just saw that there was 10 runners that are going to go to post, and the career down here tells me that they've all run over 3 times. So that's all I've got to go on at the moment, and it is a handicap. I don't worry about any class of the race. So I don't need any form like that at all. The same form I use in the UK is the same for Ireland. It's the same in America, US racing there. And I'm going to show you how you can do it with Australian racing as well. So we're going to put Swan Hill race 4. And the first thing we've got to do is fill the 10 runners out. So we've got Eagles Forever. Number 2 is Sidereal, maybe. So this is going to take a little bit of time. When I'm doing this myself, something like this kind of race with 10 runners would take me about 15 minutes. But it will take us longer than that because I just want to show you how to do it. If you decided you wanted to learn how to bet in Australia. And there's more and more Australian races now coming into our betting shops or on the exchanges. I mean, the best one, obviously, is Betfair. Right, so that's the last horse I need to put there. So from 11 going down to 29, you don't need any of these. So you can just cancel them off. The first thing we've got here is this little green box. And when you open it up here, it tells you right at the very end that the last number has been divided by 16. That's just because I do that as an average. You change that, so it's now 10. And the reason it's 10 is because there's 10 runners. That's as easy as that. just return, and that box then would have changed. But you're not going to see that move or anything happen there or in column Z until the last horse is basically been completed. So the first one we're going to look at then is Eagles Forever. We click on the name there and you'll see that the horse's form will come up. Alright, so you go into results, a little bit slow, but there we go. And we're going to use the last 3 runnings that the horse has done. Every site around the world is completely different when you use these, but it's 4th of 10 in its last race. So in our first column, 10 ran, 4 where it finished 4th. Now we do all 3 of these while we're here. The second race down was 11-7. 11 ran and he finished 7th. And the third race down, 11 and finished 8th. Alright, so we don't have to worry about doing them again. But the first thing we're going to do is go back to the first race. And where it says full results, you click on that. And there you can see the horse Eagles Forever finished 4th. But what we want is the prize money. But the prize money we want is not the purse itself of the whole lot, it's just the horse finishing first. Doesn't matter if it's our horse or not that finishes first. So we want this figure. So 9,900 Australian dollars goes in that column which attaches to the 10 and 4. So now we want to go back and into our second race, but I still haven't mastered this because you have to keep going into results again. Now we want the second race down where we know there was 11 runners and finished 7th. And when that opens up, the first place we've got to look again, the prize money, then the first got 14,850. And again, that's Australian dollars. So come out of that, back into results, and the third race down will be 11 runners, finished 8th. As I say, sometimes they can be slow. It can all depend on what you've got on your computer going as well. And again, the prize money for first was 8,225, and that's that horse completed. So it doesn't matter where in the world you are, if you've got a line of form, you know how that horse can run. And the ratings of that horse is 19,798. Now these ratings won't be the same as the UK because these are being done in Australian dollars, and at the end of doing all 10 horses we will convert it back into sterling, and then I'll show you roughly how you would grade that horse. So we go back into the race this time. See how long it takes to get back to that. Right. Oh, I do hate this when it keeps moving. And there was me saying it'll take a bit longer than 15 minutes. Right, so we're on to the second selection now. And this is what should happen. When you click on it, the form should come up and stay there. But unfortunately, on that last horse, it didn't do it. And you can see, delayed there, it's removed them. So, into the results. And its first race, 10 ran and it finished 6th. In its second race, it was 14 runners there and finished 2nd. And the third one, 8 ran and finished 5th. And again, click on the full results. And we'll see that this one here run for 14,850. And then we'll go back. And the second race there, we'll click on that. This is where 14 ran and finished 2nd. And this takes forever sometimes. And again, that race there was 14,850 Australian dollars to the winner, to the winning connection, as I was going to say. And then back into the horse for the last time. Results. We'll be here about half hour, I think, if it takes this long doing it. And again, that third race, 14,850. So you can see now that the ratings on this is 50,820, opposed to Eagles Forever of 19,798. So we know who we want to be on just out of those two selections. Our third selection is Brassada, and I wish it just stayed like that. Because I'll go to use the form on it and then it'll disappear. And there it goes. So into the results. I wonder why they show you this sometimes, because it's just pointless to show you that it was a non-runner. Right, so 7 ran and finished 4th. 6 ran in the last and then came 5th. And then in its third race down, 11 ran and it finished 6th. So we go to the first race, where 7 ran and it finished 4th. And the winning purse there was 14,850, same as all 3 in the last. But you can't just guess some of these. Click back on results again. And 6 ran, finished 5th in this race. And the prize money here for the winner was 13,950. And this is the bit that takes a long time when you go back to the page you wanted. But I wanted to show you an Australian race just to show you that it does all work exactly the same. And the third race down, 11 ran here and finished 6th. keeps going as slow as this, I'll fall asleep, I think. Right. And this was 14,850 Australian dollars to the winner. And now we're going to do our fourth selection. Number 4, do this all day, but I hope it doesn't. And this handicap is the Kinnerton Cup. Actually one of their big races of the evening, I would think. Right, so click on do this all day. And again, as I say, this would make it easier if these results just come up and stayed there. So now as soon as I decide to go on there, it will disappear. There we go. And the first race we're going to use the form of is 13 ran, finished 9th. In the second race, 11 ran, finished 3rd. And in the third race down, 10 ran, finished 7th. And then click on full results in the top one. So that came up nice and quickly. 14,850 to the winner. So we're getting there. Another one, at least we'll be halfway. And we're back on to the runner. Even though the page seems to be stuck. Right. Back into that second race. And click on the full result. And this again for first place was 14,850. I think it's getting slower. And the last race there, ran was 10 and finished 7th. And this time the winning purse was 11,000 Australian dollars. And that's 4 horses completed. So while that's just doing that, you can see now that the number 3 Sidereal is 23,318 and do this all day is 30,538. Oh, did I miss one out there? No. That should have been Brassada that was 23,318. So the top horse is still Sidereal out of the 4 that we've worked out. I think if I was doing this on the racing post like this, I'd give up. And there we go. Number 5, Firm as a Rock. I mean, I can take these quickly as long as they don't disappear. Finished second of 12, finished last of 14, and finished first of 10. So we got that bit done anyway, because we know this is going to jump. Oh wow, this is hard. Right, so the winning purse was 14,850 when it came second of 12 runners. And we'll go back into Firm as a Rock results and finish last of 14 this time. And again, 14,850 Australian dollars to the winner. So this is how fast it should be going. And this time it won the race at 14,850. So that's got a rating of 84,150 and takes the lead. Savvy B is going to be our next selection. Not our next selection, but our next horse to work out. Right. 9 ran and finished second. Then the race before, 10 ran, finished second. And the race before that was 12 ran, finished in 6th place. And this time the winning purse was 19,250 Australian dollars. And the second race down, this was 14,850. And the third race back, where 12 ran and finished 6th, this was also again 14,850. So the points here for the rating are 63,525. That moves into second position. Number 7, J Zeal, is our next horse to work the form. But we're getting through them now. If this can just stay at the speed it's at. And J Zeal there, 11 ran, finished 10th. 5 ran, finished second. And the third race down, 7 ran, finished third. So I say this is done exactly the same on my spreadsheets, whatever country the racing come from. 14,850 Australian dollars for the first race. And in the second race, again, you just click on the full results bit. And that was 30,250 to the winner. And that's why you can't just say, oh, we'll just guess that one as it's going so slow. And the third race down, the winner there, 33,000 Australian dollars. So the form for J Zeal is 56,320, and now that one has gone into third position. Then our next one is number 8, and this is going to be Danger Man. And the results: 15 ran, finished 3rd. 12 ran, finished 11th. And the 3rd race down, 12 ran, finished 9th. So into the first race, full result. And that was 13,950 to the winner. The second race was 14,850 to the winner. And the third race down, where there was 12 runners and finished 9th, that was also 14,850 Australian dollars. And the rating there is 35,250. There's only a couple more to do now, as we're going to look for number 9. And number 9 is Arrowette. Into results, and again you'll see 9 ran, finished 6th. 12 ran, finished 7th, and 10 ran, finish 1st. If you want one of these templates, these Excel spreadsheets, at the bottom of the page you'll see an email address. Just email me and ask for you for one, and you can try this out yourself. You can try it if you can find smaller races. Just to test it would be the best thing. But unfortunately, when I was flicking through the racing here tomorrow, there was no such luck of a 4 or 5 horse race. Come to England, we see them every day. So 11,400 is our first total that we need. And then the second race so we've got the bad luck coming back, is 14,850. And the third race down, where it was first of 10, and here we go, back to being slow again, but thank God after this one we've only got one to do. Right, that's 11,400, and the rating on that is 52,180. And the last one we're going to look at now is Chestnut Thunder. And then that will be all 10 done. And as I start to fill in this one, you will see some numbers appear. And Chestnut Thunder number 10 will be the last one. So these prices over on the right hand side, they have a lot of the English bookmakers out there. We can only use that at the moment because if I was to click on Betfair, I'll try clicking on Betfair, but you most probably have nothing on there. 7 ran, finished 2nd. 9 ran, finished 5th. And 9 ran, finished 3rd. And as I press this, you should see some numbers appear in that column X. There we go. Column Z, I should have said column Z. And then this green box underneath. but because we haven't put the 3 totals in yet, I can't show you exactly what it is. And the first one will be 3,220. So this one's quite a way under, isn't it? And the middle race, and that was worth 14,850. And it looks like it's all going slow again, so I'll be glad when we get to the last one here. But that's the best site to use. That's called racenet.com.au. But I've had it this slow before, so this isn't just a one-off or blaming the internet or anything like that. And this will be again 3,220. And also on this site they have the live radio for every race, but I think it would have finished by now, but I'll just click on and see what happens. No, there's nothing coming through there at the moment, but how slow it is, it doesn't surprise me. Right, so now we go back into this race, and the first thing we do, we put them all in descending order. So starting with the highest at the top will be our top selection, and right down the bottom will be our last selection. We'll start off with the green box. This figure inside the green box, 10,795, gives me an indication of what this race should be worth to the winner in Australian dollars. So let's come out of that and go back into the page with all the runners on. Let's hope that can get back there quicker. Right. Let's hope that doesn't jump and go into something else. Alright, so you can normally scroll this down and right, there we go. So to the first here, oh there's a surprise, 14,850. So with me putting this in at 10,795, I think this race is a little bit under what it should be. So the class is a little bit less than what they think it will be, basically. Now, our top selection here is Firm as a Rock. And if we go to column Z, you can see there's all numbers in here. And starting from the top, this will be the shortest because these are my estimated prices that I think the horse will be in that race. But sometimes I'm way out, sometimes I'm spot on, sometimes it's right the other way. So at the moment, I've got Firm as a Rock down at 5.13 or around 4 to 1. I've got Savvy B at 6.8 or maybe 11 to 2. And then I've got Jazeel 7.67 or 13 to 2. So we're just going to have a look at the odds that they've got next to these. and they've got Firm as a Rock at 6, which is 5 to 1, and I've got 4 to 1. So when I've got 4 to 1 and they've got 5s, do I think, oh, that could be a little bit of value there, I should take an early price? Maybe. Savvy B, as I say, we've got at 11 to 2, but they make this the 11 to 10 favourite. Now, 11 to 10 would say to me, well, I don't think it should be that short, so I won't back it, or I'll look for a value bet that I can win money on. But that's our second selection anyway. And if we was doing this as we normally do for Dutching purposes, we would say, right, Firm as a Rock is 6 and Savvy B is 2.1, and all we'd be able to have on Savvy B is £33.33. But of course, if you're betting with the exchanges, you know those prices will be better than that. Now this race, let's have a look at the time this is due off. In the UK, this is due off at 3:50 in the morning. So if I go into Betfair and I keep scrolling on, I'm not sure whether this meeting will be covered, but it is. Right, so there's Swan Hill. Now we can see at the moment there's an over round here of 127.3. So I'm surprised to see anything on these at all, to be honest. So let's just put these prices in. But when you've got 27% over the top, it means that now your stake would be around 62. But by the time you bet tonight, it would be back to 50 again. So we're just going to have a look at Firm as a Rock, shows at 6.4. All people do here really is they open the betting up and they just copy the prices from Australia and maybe give you the same or a little bit less. So Savvy B 2.1, we know it was 2.1 as well when we looked at the other site. And again, you're only going to be looking to bet those two horses in the race. So that is early hours of the morning at 3:50. If you like what you see and you think, yeah, perhaps I can give that a go, perhaps I can get an Australian winner at some point, or even an American one. It's all done exactly the same. These are just worked out on Aussie figures, and the other ones were on American. They're exactly the same. So what I'm going to show you quickly before I go, when we look here, there are 2.2846 Australian dollars against the pound. So what we're going to do now is divide that at the end here, which I'm going to show you. There, just add on the end, divided by 2.2846, and these prices now will come down to sterling. So in our answer to a race maybe of class 5, class 6, which pays around 4.5 grand, you'll see here 4,725 is now English. And the horses have got their ratings, would tell you where they should be running. Now, the one at the top on 36,000, I think should be in a class 5. All the 20,000 ones should be in a class 4. The 36 should be in a class 4, I should say. Then all these 20s should be in a class 5. These 3 down to 10,000 should be in a class 6. And if we had a class 7, these 2 would be in the basement, like your classified stakes runners. So that's basically it. I'm just going to take that back out and leave it on Aussie dollars. So again, if you want this template, just email at the bottom of the screen, just email that to me and I'll send you a free one through, and then you can test it yourself and try and see if you can pick any winners. But because this race is tonight stroke tomorrow morning, when you get up you can have a look and see how close it was. So that's it then, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.